Hello everybody, in this video I'm just going to be doing a very brief stock analysis on MGM as well as kind of giving my opinion on the industry as a whole. And I'm just going to jump right into it. Here we can see the stock is at about $22, and at the beginning of the year it was closer to a little over $33, but it went all the way down to below $6, which is just really insane. It was hit harder than most of the travel stocks out there as well as most of the airlines. And I'm going to reference American Airlines as a comparison in this video, and you'll probably see why. But MGM got hit extremely hard, and it baffles me a little bit because they're not actually in any kind of major financial trouble. And I completely understood why American was in so much trouble with their stock price because they were already in a lot of trouble at the beginning of the year. But with MGM, it's really surprising that the stock did drop that low. And if we look at it from a little bit of a longer term perspective here, we can see it was at about $20 in 2015. And then before it dropped, it was at almost $40, so about doubling in price in the last 5 years. So a pretty good long-term play there if you've been holding for a long time or if you're looking to hold in the future. And revenue and earnings are looking pretty good here. A steady increase in revenue year over year with a big slump in earnings in 2018 and then surprisingly good earnings in 2019. And I say surprisingly because if you look here, there's really low earnings in quarter 2 and quarter 3 of 2019. And I really don't know a good explanation as to why. Let me know down in the comments if you do have a good reason why. And then actually much better earnings at the beginning of 2020 than in 2 quarters of 2019, which is pretty surprising. A lot of surprises with MGM so far. Now I'm going to switch over to Robinhood and kind of talk about some of the things on here. So a couple of news articles about MGM. Travel stocks rise as job additions point to recovery. So just yesterday, if you're watching this video when it came out, stocks were pretty much on a tear. Everything was up big. The Dow was up about 3%. And MGM just really had an incredible week. And then just that second one there, Las Vegas casinos reopen with social distancing, and I'm sure those restrictions are going to be up pretty soon as well. So really good outlook here for a lot of the big casino stocks out there. And then we're just going to take a look at the research report overview by Morningstar. We can see that 4 out of 5 stars is really strong for them, and they're likely to pursue Japan, and hopefully they're looking to pursue some other countries in Asia as well, which could really help their financials as well as their stock price for investors. And I believe it has 4 out of 5 stars there, and it's really just because they're fair value right now. As we saw, the stock's currently just at about $20, but fair value is more like $32, and I would even say it's a little bit higher than that, more like $34 or $35. And just because that's fair value, I think it'll even get higher than that, really just within the next few months. But that's just my opinion, and a lot of people are saying that the stock market is going to see a huge slump in the next couple of months. So if that's true, then I'm sure MGM is going to be hurting big time as well. And then stewardship, pretty standard. I would agree with that. And uncertainty, very high. That was a little bit surprising to me. And if we look into it here, risk to prospective shareholders is a downturn in travel and leisure demand. So that's really just saying there's a bad outlook on travel, but I think we're already starting to see that bounce back just a little bit. And in just a few months, we're really going to see things starting to get back to normal. It's not going to be like we saw, in January of 2020, but there's going to be kind of a new normal, and I think MGM is going to be just fine. Now I'm going to take a look at a few points by the Bulls and the Bears by analysts at Morningstar. And the first one is just basically talking about how MGM is freeing up some funds so they can be expansive in Japan, which could potentially be really great for them, as I mentioned. And just the second point there is talking about how it's successfully growing and expanding in China. And then lastly, we expect MGM to be awarded a Japanese gaming concession due to its strong experience, as well as its strong brand and relatively strong balance sheet as well, I'm sure. And since it's been leading resorts in Las Vegas, I'm sure it's also going to be able to lead a very successful run in Japan as well. And now I'm going to take a look at a few points by the Bears. The first one I just kind of already mentioned, that there's a lot of unknowns from COVID with the impact on leisure and travel. But as I said, I think it's going to be able to pretty much fully recover, coming to the new normal within a year, probably the next couple of quarters. And remember, I said the new normal there, it's not going to be just like it was at the beginning of the year. And then the second kind of bad point here is that the majority, and I would say the vast majority, probably 90% of its cash flows come from the mature Las Vegas region, and they're trying to change that, trying to expand further in China and as well as Japan. And that kind of leads to the last point there. The Macau and Chinese governments are transitioning the region's mix toward a non-gaming full resort destination site, and MGM and gaming kind of go hand in hand. MGM's really not going to be able to make any money off of not having their casino there. And with that being said, I really don't see why there's such a big focus on Macau and China in the first place. I know China is exciting to just about any company, but I would really be looking to Japan if I were them, which they are, but I'm not really sure why they got involved with China in the first place. Come check out my channel, as I've got a ton of brief stock analysis videos just like this one. Subscribe for more content, and thank you so much for watching.